5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. We are the For the Love of Sports podcast. We're just some guys talking sports. I'm your host, Malik. I'm the glue to the team. Corey and Jay are my two best friends, and we're sharing knowledge and unprofessional athletic thoughts. Follow us on our Instagram at the number 4 TLOS podcast, and follow us on TikTok, FTLOS POD, FTLOS pod. So, we took last week off. We weren't here. Thanksgiving break was, last week. I was out the country, went to visit my dad out in Germany. One of the highlights of my trip, went to a Mannheim Adler hockey game. My first time going to a international hockey, actually German hockey event. I've seen an international hockey match when I was in South Korea, but that's for another time. So if you're watching our video, you can see my jersey. It's pretty dope. It's very thin. A lot of sponsorships, but beside the point. So now, Jay, tell us what we're going to get into today.
Well, fellas and listeners from everywhere, which we just found out, we're going to get into the NFL Week 12 recap, which I know we're going to have a lot of fun talking about. The CFP rankings just dropped, so we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the Las Vegas Invitational from college basketball on the women's side, as well as some conversation around advancing women's sports and athletics as a whole. Then we're going to hop over to the men's side, talk about some upsets over there, some key losses, the rankings. And then we have a little treat for you guys. At the end, we're going to add, an installment of Weddle, which is the NFL version of Wordle. So we're going to have some fun and see if you guys can guess along with us. Corey, what do you love about sports this week?
What I love about sports this week, it was an article. It was by Aditi Kinkabwala, but it was about Tua. I thought was really, really relatable. The report was that over the past year, with all of the injuries and negativity from the coaching staff and his position as the Dolphins quarterback, he actually had to sit down with himself in the mirror and be like, wow, did I suck? Do I belong to be here? And I feel like that's really relatable. I feel like a lot of us have been in a spot where, especially being athletes, you kind of get to a point and you're like, dang, do I actually belong here? Should I have reached this point? Should I have gotten to where I've gotten? Do I deserve this kind of thing? And I just think it's really cool that this year Tua, he started off with the injuries, and that was obviously gut-wrenching to watch, and nobody wants to see that. But in the 9 games that he started, he is leading the league in QBR. He's tied for second with only 3 INTs this year, tied for 5th in touchdowns, and 2,564 yards. He has Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill as the number 5 and number 1 wide receivers in yards, respectively. So Waddle at 5 and Tyreek at 1. And Tyreek is on pace to have the 4th greatest single receiving yard, or 4th greatest single season reception total, so just catches, and then also the 3rd greatest total yards at 1877, which is only 87 yards behind Calvin Johnson's greatest year ever, and 70 yards behind Cooper Kupp's historic season last year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So he came out and he proved the haters completely wrong.
Yeah, he has them boys rolling down there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fun matchup week to week for sure.
Yeah, big props to Tua, man. I'm glad that he's come back to all of that.
Yeah, shout out to Tua. So I guess that's a perfect transition into our first topic of Week 12, our Week 12 recap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can start since we're gonna talk about our teams. I can start that off. Hell of a win down the stretch for us. I was excited. I was a little nervous though watching the game. because we had multiple opportunities, but I'm glad that we got that stop to get the ball back. We got Justin Herbert the ball back at the end of the game with like a minute and change left, and kind of did something that a lot of people, a lot of haters have been saying that he can't do, which is do the 2-minute drive essentially, and lead his team to a victory. So that was
Call out
positive.
that hater.
Yeah, I mean,
Call out that hater.
Manuel Acho, I got to do it because he keeps saying my man's just a social media quarterback, but it's cool. I mean, I'm with the smoke. So I also like the ballsy play by Brandon Staley going for 2. Why not? And I texted our group chat league. I said, let's go home. Like, we don't want to go to overtime on the road with Kyler Murray back there, even though Kyler Murray's kind of mid. But you never know. They still got D-Hop. So I'm pleased. We banged up, but we made the right plays. Also, Derwin James is incredible. So I'm excited. We got the Raiders next week, division game. They've been struggling, even though they're just coming off a big win. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we get Mike Williams back too next week. Keenan Allen looked sharp.
Yeah, I was going to say Keenan Allen had a big game. That was his first full game back, and he looked like Keenan Allen. Whenever I see him on the field, he looks like him.
Yeah,
like he looks like he's that dude.
It's crazy that when you see your number one guy come back, it just gives the quarterback all the confidence because the defense has to pay attention to him.
Yep.
So now Josh Palmer was our one for more than half the season. So now he comes back, he can play a little bit at some of the 2, and then even Gerald Everett is getting a lot of targets. So I don't know. If you look at the 2-point conversion, Keenan Allen drew 2 defenders, but you have to respect him in the red zone anywhere, but especially in the red zone because he's just good at what he does. So
yeah,
we get Mike Dub back. We can put Josh Palmer in the slot. We're gonna make some things happen. I'm excited, man. We rolling. We in the hunt. So every game is a must win.
Yeah, for sure. Corey, sorry, losers are going last this week.
After our loss, I feel it. I understand.
The Cowboys win. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first half, they kind of had us in the first half. I was worried.
Dakota Prescott.
Dak had me worried, man. But defense, they was doing the thing, getting back there. Shout out to the Giants though. Like their scheming on offense, they were really they did a decent job of keeping Michael Parsons at bay at times. Like they didn't, shut him down completely, but they did a good job of, trying to minimize him at times. So, shout out to Michael Gallup. He's starting to hit his stride, come back again. Had some big, contested catches early, some big catches late in the game too. Shout out to CD, over another 100-yard game. I like him.
But
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. If y'all have watched our past episodes, you know the question I'm about to ask.
Yeah. But speaking of, so I know we talked about Odell a couple weeks ago, and we talked about, we all see the rumors. I saw something on Twitter, and it was like, all this talk about the Cowboys getting OBJ makes me wonder, why did they let go of Amari Cooper? And at first, I was like, damn, why? You're right. Why did we just let him go if we're going to do this? But then, at the time, we had to cut the cap space. That cap space allowed us to get Anthony Barr, bring back Malik Hooker, allowed us to bring back, I want to say it was Curse that we re-signed, allowed us to get Dante Fowler, So Dante Fowler has 5 sacks on the season right now, a lot of pressures, some TFLs. Like, we were able to use that cap space from cutting Amari to get a lot of defensive pieces, and it paid off. We're doing well. I'm not saying that, I'm glad we cut Amari.
It was the right thing to do, though.
It was the right thing to do. And I ain't gonna lie, at the time, I was very upset because just a 3rd round pick,
Yeah.
Like that's the part that I'm upset about. It's just the third round pick, not that we got rid of Amari. And if we're bringing in Odell, like we're probably bringing him in for a little bit cheaper. Potentially could get him for 2 years instead of one. You know, I'm over speculating here, being extremely optimistic, but that's just how I see it. So cutting Amari wasn't a bad idea. CD, Gallup doing their thing. You know, tight ends, good hands. You know, they do a pretty decent job. And shout out my man Noah Brown. So I think
Yeah,
that's
shout out to Noah Brown. I actually like Noah Brown.
yeah.
Super random
He's
guy, but also
he's been in the league for a few years.
yeah, and that's crazy. But he only looks good with Cooper Rush, rather.
Right. Yeah.
When you were giving your shout outs, did you say Zeke?
No.
Interesting. Why not?
I don't know. I didn't love Zeke that game. I mean, yeah, he had some tuds, but
16 carries, 92 yards, and a tud.
For how many?
16 carries, 92 yards, and a tud.
I like it.
Come on, man. Show my man
He got what he needed to get.
Yeah, that's 6 yards a carry with a 22-yard long run. So,
hey, my bad, Zeke. I should have gave you a shout out. That's on me, bro. That's on me.
Man, hey, be grateful. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking. Be grateful. Ooh, let's talk about Tampa Bay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Tampa
Bay.
Right.
So this game was definitely the game that if you didn't like the coaching staff, you're going to hang your hat on it, because that was a complete fumble at the end. They had so many chances to put that game away. And one, they could have called a timeout before Cleveland scored at the end, so that way we would have had more time there. They could have called a timeout when we had the ball and they let like 14 seconds run off the clock, and like in the middle, like just in the middle of that drive for no reason. I just don't get our offense, man. Like sometimes, like Brady's numbers don't look bad. He had like, I think it was like 250 and 2 touchdowns, and Godwin had like 12 catches and 110 yards. But it seemed like the connection to Mike all of a sudden is just gone. Like all of a sudden Brady just couldn't hit Mike down the side. Like he hit him twice. He had like 2 catches for like 30 yards. But those were like, he had like 3 other times where he could have hit him. And there was a couple times like in not in the red zone, but like right outside the red zone. I was like, this is a perfect chance just to chuck one up to Mike in the corner. Like we do it all the time. It's like Mike's like biggest thing is like a 30-yard, 40-yard touchdown where it's just kind of like a okay, catches at the 5 and then rolls through. Like that's always been the offense, and it just seems, I don't know what the play calling is. I can't obviously get into all of that like every single play, but Rashad White looked fine. I think he did really good at getting the start. Keyshawn Vaughn, with his like very limited carries this year, has looked okay, and we've seen him be okay in spot work. Like the offense looked okay. It just seemed like we just fumbled it whenever we needed to not fumble it. And then our defense can't be locked down 24/7. You can't hold a team to 10 points like for an entire game, and your offense only have like a 4-point lead. Like that like you have if it's Tom Brady, he should have way more points if the defense is holding him to 10. Especially with the slate of receivers, like weapons he has. Like Julio Jones seems more healthy. He looks like he actually is able to run and take hits now. Chris Godwin's coming back. For some reason, he couldn't hit Mike this game, but hopefully that's fixed next game. And then if we get Leonard Fournette and Rashad White, we should have 2 good backs. Like, and then we just got Giovanni Bernard, who's who's basically just James White in like a different uniform. You know, like that it should be perfect for him, and we should be able to produce. But it just seems like something's not clicking. I don't know. I don't get what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Tristan Wirfs got hurt either. So But
Yeah, I didn't even want to mention that. That was really bad, and luckily, it's only probably going to be out a month. It's not going to be like permanent surgery damage kind of thing. So that's good.
right. No, I do
So he'll
agree
just
with
miss
your
the.
point. My bad. I was just gonna say real quick. I agree with your point with Mike Evans because I'm looking at the box score now. Like, got targeted 9 times, but only caught 2 of those passes. So I don't think you. And that's your best wideout. Can't have that. What were you gonna say, Malik?
No, my only question was, so worst is just missing the rest of the regular season. And
Yeah.
y'all should win the division. That's in my notes. That's excuse me. Was something I was going to bring up. I think the Bucks.
I don't know, man.
Playoffs.
At this point, Carolina could win the division. It's that shaky. Have you looked at the records? It's literally like we're all a game apiece. Like everything's a game split. Like if we lose, let's say if we lose to San Fran and we lose to Atlanta, right? Those are just 2 losses. If at the end of the season when we're playing Carolina, that could be for the division.
Could be.
Like Carolina's not looking bad. That defense is pretty decent, and their run game, Deonta Foreman's been looking nice. I don't know where.
Brian Burns is so different.
Exactly. Like there's pieces on that team. I don't know what they're gonna do with the 19 different quarterbacks they want to start, and I assume they're gonna sign Cam Newton at some point because they always do every season. But like Atlanta just doesn't play football all the time. Like the Saints are good, but they're just now getting healthy.
Yeah.
I think the Saints, if they had a good quarterback, they would be a really good team. But their quarterbacks are mid. And then Carolina is just kind of hanging around. Like if you give it 4 weeks and we have one more bad week, we could be talking about like it's just up for grabs.
I think it's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, I mean the Saints and Panthers are both 4-8. The Falcons are 5-7. Y'all are 5-6.
Exactly.
So
the only reason,
like they have the Seahawks next. They have Steelers and the Lions.
They'll probably beat the Steelers and the Lions.
I was gonna say all 3 of them are winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely gonna be interesting.
That's gonna be. I have hope that the Bucks will pull it out, but I really, really hope that. I kind of hope that one of the other teams just catches fire. That way we don't make the playoffs and we can be like, okay, like we're clean now. Sorry, we just have to restart. Because if we make the playoffs and Brady's like, dang, I kind of want to play another season, you're on the hook for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, all right. Division winners, if you had to call them right now. Let's start with the NFC because I'm curious to hear what you guys say. There's a couple that are like
AFC.
NFC. There's a couple that are like give me obviously, what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's the Eagles. The Bucks, the Vikings. I'm gonna say Seattle. I'm gonna say Seattle.
Hey, yo, that's my dog.
That's your sport. I think I agree with the Eagles and the Vikings. Eagles, Vikings, Bucks. But I just think that 49ers defense is too good, man. Like, I just think
Time out. The defense is good, but their offense is
the offense is definitely mid, but they have so much talent on the offense that you don't know what you're gonna get out of them. So you can't really just write them off. It's Jimmy G. He's not going to be. What he's going to give you week in and week out.
The 49ers offense is just a bunch of. It's like having a joker in spades. Like at any point it could just drop and it's 400 yards and 50 points.
Yeah,
because that's just how it is, But then other times it just doesn't happen, and you're like, oh, well, we got Jimmy G with 117 yards.
Right. and they still might win because they'll shut out the other team. Like, that's crazy.
So the 49ers, I don't think it's this week, but next week play Miami.
That's going to be interesting because both of them know exactly what they're going to do. Each team knows what the other team is going to do.
I think this will be Miami's. I think it's this week. I think it is this week.
It is this week.
Oh, it is this week.
Mhm.
Oh,
But I think this will be what really shows Miami's power. If they can come out and like just mollywop the 49ers like they have been with everybody, because I think in the games that he's played and finished it has 250 yards minimum every game. If he's able to do that against the 49ers and they score points like consistently, I think that people are going to be like, wow, we don't want to see Miami at all.
Shoot, we play
think this game
Miami in 2 weeks.
That's what I was looking at. Y'all play Miami in 2 weeks, and okay. I think this game goes both ways. I think San Francisco's defense, they need to hold Miami, but then their offense needs to put up points because I don't think Miami just doesn't score. Like,
they're gonna score.
Exactly. So my thing is the 49ers are good. The NFL.com power rankings has them as the 3. They put 13 up on the Saints. Like, I'm not saying the Saints are some slouches, but they're also not
the 49ers.
The 13 points.
The 49ers kind of just do what they need to do, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like Miami's offense is an A, and the 49ers defense is an A, where I feel as like Miami's defense is like a B- to a C. And depending on what part or what shade of the 49ers offense you get, that's kind of how that game will go. Because if they come out and they have the 117-yard Jimmy G, it's going to be Miami all day. But if they have a game they actually produce and like CMC and everybody's just going off, then they'll put up points with them.
Yeah. The Dolphins defense has kind of been like wishy-washy all season because they almost lost to the Lions, gave up 27 to them, gave up 42. Gave up 38 to the Ravens. So I don't know. I mean, they outscoring them, then yeah, but I don't think that game's going to be a shootout. So I think I might pick the 49ers in that one.
I'm probably rolling Miami.
See it.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Miami because they're going to score.
Yeah, they are. They are.
AFC
is a little more.
Give me Kansas City running away with the West.
I don't know about running away, but they gonna take it.
They got a 3-game lead right now.
They do.
They running away, bro.
My pride won't let me say that.
That's fair. I got the Chiefs, the Titans, the Bengals, and the Dolphins. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said the Bills, but give me the Dolphins.
That one is the Jets aren't bad. So I can see them winning the division, but it would take some catastrophic mistakes from the other two teams.
I don't trust Mike White enough.
Nah, but he looked good,
I thought they had an okay chance with Zach Wilson, but now like that's just too much instability for me. That team, there's no way that team, especially with all the injuries they have at running back and whatnot, like that's just that offense, the defense is good. The offense, I don't think can be consistent.
Yeah, the offense can't compete. I agree with that. For sure. Yeah. You got the Bengals over the Ravens?
Yeah,
I can see that.
I think too. With Jamar coming back, Joe Burrow, I am who I thought I was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Give me Joe. And I don't know when Mixon's supposed to be back, but I mean,
he'll be this week, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, P. Ryan came in, was doing his thing, like if you would have told me that wasn't Joe Mixon that was putting up numbers like that, wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known. So I think the Bengals are clicking at the right time, and the Ravens have been inconsistent. Like they're not bad throughout the game. They're just not where they need to be. Like losing to the Jaguars, like they shouldn't have. And yes, Lamar, put them in a position to win, but and it's football any given Sunday. I understand that, but I just think the Bengals are clicking.
It also took the Jaguars the game of their lives to beat the Ravens. But I don't know, man. They always give up leads. Like it seems like it happens every other week.
Yeah.
So
four of their losses, they've had like double-digit leads.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know.
I don't know what it is, man. I have Lamar on multiple fantasy teams, and some week like he hasn't had a great week and since like week 4. I think the first 3 weeks he was on fire, and then like after that it's just been like basically just whatever he can get.
Jay, their record is 7-4 right now.
The Ravens.
So all of their losses, they've had like double-digit leads in.
Yeah. I don't know, man. And I don't know what it is, man. Like the receivers aren't that good. I will say that for the offense to continue to play. The run game is always going to be what it is with them. But I don't think Lamar can be their rushing leader.
Also, J.K. Dobbins has been out, and they've had like Kenyon Drake and Gus Edwards and people like that rotating through. So I think they need an influx of young talent. Like J.K. Dobbins was supposed to be that coming out from that injury, but he hasn't been healthy enough this season.
Right. And then they got Deshaun Jackson, 36, 35, however old he is. He's supposed to be their saving grace.
He still got some gas in the tank.
I don't get why isn't OBJ linked to the Ravens more?
No idea.
That would be perfect. He would be like, why? I don't see why they didn't bring him in instead of Deshaun Jackson. Or why didn't they trade for Brandon Cooks?
That I don't know, but
because they run heavy.
Do we think that the Ravens can potentially be a contender in this AFC right now?
No.
That's probably why. OBJ.
Fair.
I think when
I guess for both of them
came out, when the early reports came out, he wanted to be with a playoff contender, and maybe early in the season the Ravens might have been, but as things have progressed, they're looking less and less like a deep playoff contender. Not saying that they can't be, but
they'll for sure make the playoffs, I think. But
oh yeah,
like they're probably out in the first round.
Yeah, but then I'm like, why was he considering the Rams? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because he likes LA.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you watch the game, they're not contending for anything.
No, they're actually at the bottom of the division.
Yeah, that's what they deserve to be.
The Lions have like 2 top, I think they top 5 or top 7 picks because of that too. Like the Lions are going to come up big this offseason.
Because of theirs and the Rams, yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see who they pick.
Yeah.
I just got one thing I want to say that's really upsetting me, and I've been thinking about this, is that the Eagles really might go, 15-2?
Then they're going
you guys lose to you one time and then went out.
I think we have the best potential to beat them. They play I don't have their exact schedule up right now, but it's the Titans, the
Giants
in
order. In order: Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants again.
Yeah, that's I could see them losing one of the Giants games.
They probably don't lose the last one because they'll sit their players.
Yeah.
Once they clinch.
I would say Giants, you guys. I think the Saints could be a trap game. And then there's another team.
I
I
honestly
think
have
that
more faith
I think
in
that
Cam.
Titans game might be a little rough too.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, with the addition of Linval and Dominican, like, I
they're
don't
pretty
know.
stout. That
Well, they
defense is
weren't
nice.
before they got there on the run. But I see what you're saying. I just think Tennessee is a tough team. Like they're not gonna roll over.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, I don't think they'll just roll over. Absolutely not. But I think the Eagles come out on top of most of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Jalen Hurts is
I
so
would
good,
say,
man.
yeah, I know. I
It's
saw my
funny
dad
that a
with
lot of these matchups this season we came into the like I didn't think the Eagles were going to be this good. So the Packers Eagles game, I think we thought was going to be the exact opposite. We were like, oh, the Eagles are just going to get rolled, and like, what are the but the Packers are definitely better. And now it's the exact opposite, where the Eagles are just like, oh, it's 100% the Eagles.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, coming into the game, I didn't think the Eagles would roll them, but like, Jesus,
Who
Jalen
do we
Hurts,
like?
man. I
Who
tell
do
you,
we like coming out the AFC then? As it stands now, a couple weeks ago we had different opinions, but as it stands now,
you talking more towards the Super Bowl or just playoffs?
Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
I'm going to the Chiefs.
I think they're gonna make it, man. They look good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they win ugly, they win pretty.
I say if
they
it's
just win.
not the Chiefs, it's for me. I think it's going to be the Dolphins.
Josh been let down for Bills, like not letting down, but I know he's battling injuries, but like they're not clicking the way they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a lot of like coaching mental late mistakes, you know. Josh throwing terrible interceptions, like to the defense, like straight to the defense. You know, it's the small things that are like you're not going to win confidence. Not that you can't, not saying that you won't, but I think the Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills are my three to come out. Like
I think
order.
besides the Chiefs, there's no other team that has an offense that has so many ways to beat you.
Yeah.
You know, like like if it's not Tyreek getting it, it's Jalen Waddle getting it, and if it's not Jalen Waddle or Tyreek getting it, it's Mostert, and if it's not Mostert, it's Gesicki, and if it's not, like they just have so many options, and Tua doesn't care who he gives it to, so like there's just so many things that you have to cover, and I feel like for the Bills, you just kind of have Stephon Diggs and like don't let Josh Allen run too much because Gabe Davis can beat you kind of, but even in the Chiefs game last year we had like 3 touchdowns. Like he didn't win the game,
Yeah.
But and I don't think anybody else in the AFC has that kind of firepower even close. I think those are the top 3 teams for most people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they progress over the season because they have unreal speed on the outside, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, boys, we got this. We're gonna transition to the CFP talk. It just dropped today, so let me know what you guys think. I need to hear it.
I personally am okay with it.
Wait. Losers go last. Losers go last this one. Remember, losers go last. So how about we give it up for Big Blue? Ooh, let's go, Michigan. The game was won by the Blue. Great game. McCarthy obviously is going to be the next number 1 overall pick whenever he's available. Didn't even need Blake Corum. The Donovan Smith is going off. I think he had like 107 rushes for over 37 yards or something like that. Just insane numbers. It was a great game to watch. Very competitive. I will say that at the end, though, I think Stroud kind of pressed too much, and I think Ohio State could have made a lot more clean of an attempt of a comeback, but they just kind of got sloppy. But overall, I thought really, really good game, and it was good to watch. I think from both sides, but obviously, go blue.
Yeah, that was it was fun watching it. Obviously, I like the first half more. I put money on Ohio State, but it was still a good game. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. He's nice, and the other receiver, Egbuka, I like him too. Both tough. And they were playing without their best wide receiver, so I think that's something that should be noted. But I don't know if he would have made that much of a difference. Also, one more thing to say on this CFP talk, and I might not say another word. Caleb Williams is the real deal. He is the Heisman winner trophy. He is also from the DMV, so I'm biased. So stand up. I tip my hat.
I think he's got it. I think he's betting favorite now too. I think everybody knows he's in the lead.
I think he's minus 3,000. I just looked today.
Oh my God.
On FanDuel. FanDuel, if somebody hears this from your team, go ahead and throw that sponsorship.
Minus 3K. Yeah, please throw sponsorship. We will happily talk FanDuel up all day long.
I love me some FanDuel.
Same. That's how I got started in my sports betting. Shout out to FanDuel. Yeah, Caleb Williams, shout out to USC coming in 4th spot. I think it'll be a good matchup, personally. Georgia, USC. I think it'll be a pretty good matchup.
Hey,
I like
if we want to build the future, we're gonna need something. Like the skills
Michigan is wilding right now. Sorry. I just had like some backup noise in there. But yeah, TCU versus Michigan. I think that's going to be a pretty good game as well. Like I said earlier, I think that, TCU might not be the greatest team and they're not going to do a lot, but I think if they can hang around, it might be interesting towards the end of the game.
They're going to have that boy running for his life.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Pat Mahomes looked when they played the Bucks? Yeah. That's what it's going to look like.
Maybe. Do we see anybody in the top 4 losing this weekend?
I don't think so.
TCU
because we talked about TCU and we agreed that nobody on TCU's schedule was a threat. I don't think Michigan has anybody that I feel like are no, we play Purdue for the championship, so I think we win that.
Purdue.
And then who does Georgia play?
LSU.
I think they got that.
I don't know who USC plays for the Pac-12.
Is it Is the Pac-12 split? Like like they have like East or West or something?
They play Utah.
Okay, that could be a good game. I could see them losing that. Utah's been pretty good.
Yeah, and Utah beat them earlier this season, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so they definitely could lose that. That would be interesting to watch.
Oh no! Well, Jay is not in our top 3 anymore because he just got booted. That's all right. We'll just give it a second and we'll come back. So
I guess this is a good time to plug our mixtape.
I didn't know we were gonna do that, bro. I would have prepared a little something.
Yeah.
We had a little freestyle before the show.
But he's back. He's back. There he is.
He's back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can't.
You just saved the audience from listening to me and Malik battle rap. So.
Well, you guys are welcome because I'm pretty sure nobody wanted to hear
And Jay has heard me try to rap before.
Yeah, nah, it was no good. My bad, audience, for my technical difficulties over here. I'm a little farther from my router than I normally am, but it's okay. I'm back.
Jay, I don't know if you heard us, but we said USC plays Utah.
I mean, and coming into the season, people thought that Utah was just going to roll over USC, but obviously that hasn't happened. I think they've answered all the questions about them that, like coming from Oklahoma, Caleb Williams has done everything that he needed to do to kind of solidify himself, obviously as a Heisman candidate, but also, like he best player in the country right now.
That's fair. I mean, USC's one loss is to Utah.
Yeah, I mean Utah's not an easy win by any means.
Mm-mm.
But we gonna see. I think it's gonna be a good game. It's a close game too. Like
43-42.
Yeah, 1 point. So we'll see. We're gonna see.
I ain't mad at it.
I'm tuned in though because it's prime time too.
Oh yes, this whole weekend, bro.
Yeah, 8 p.m.
Between college and the NFL. I mean, yeah, I'm locked in.
What do we think about Spencer Rattler? Real quick, I'm sorry.
I don't actually mean this, but who?
But you saw my boy smoking a cigar like he was Joe Burrow after the. I'm like, come on, man. You won 2 games in a row. They're good games, but come on.
I mean, it was a big wins, but I think if he had been able to continue what he was doing the year prior, and then had performances like that, you would have a lot more to smoke a cigar about. But the fact that he's at South Carolina and he's doing that, it's kind of like, man, you should have been somewhere else.
Should have been somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You're now bowl eligible. Congratulations. You win a PS5.
If that, they might not.
Hey, I'll take it.
Even get. Yeah.
Shoot, they playing the PlayStation Bowl. That's what they're gonna get.
That's a fact. I'll take that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas, let's talk about this Las Vegas Invitational. Let's go to Vegas.
Yeah, don't get me started, man. So you want?
No, I want you to start.
So
go
I
ahead.
guess so. For those who don't know, Las Vegas Invitational is just another one of these tournaments that kind of like a tune-up tournament before you head into the regular season or conference play for college basketball. There was a multitude of teams in the classic in the tournament, but they were hosting a top 10 program in Indiana basketball and on the women's side, and essentially they had people playing. They had the teams playing in a ballroom of a hotel. And that's not the biggest issue. It is one of the issues, but it's not the biggest issue. It was Indiana versus Auburn. They didn't have any seats, like actual seats for the spectators. They had folding chairs. Teams had to bring down their own towels from the rooms because they weren't provided. It just raises so many questions of where are we at with women's sports and the respect that they have earned and that they deserve. So it's interesting. I mean, if you haven't seen some of the pictures, maybe we can throw some in, or you guys can do your own research on it. But it's pretty astounding to see.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing for me, I read an article saying that one of the Auburn players took a big spill, and it was like an hour delay or like 45-minute delay for medical staff to get there. That's just completely unacceptable. Like. In any capacity, if it's high school, if it's a high school tournament, if it's a college tournament, if professional, semi-pro, even if it's little league, like it shouldn't take 45 minutes if a girl fell on her shoulder or somebody sprained their ankle. It shouldn't take them 45 minutes to get medical care. And the game shouldn't, like, that's just a huge delay on everybody. Like, it's obviously poorly, constructed. If that was the only floor they were playing, now the whole day is backed up an hour. That just throws everybody off. That's just terrible.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, 40 minutes and not having medical staff nearby, even outside the building. You know, you're a hotel. I forget which hotel it was, but you know, like Jay said, that wasn't the biggest issue because the floor, the hoops themselves, it was nice, it was cool,
Mm-hmm.
but the ambiance of the arena, quote unquote, um, is nothing. Like it was literally just the fans and the statisticians and you know a couple TV people. It was terribly put together. It was Destination Basketball that put this event together, and what they had promised them looks nothing like what they um, played on. If you Google, you know, Las Vegas Invitational 2022, there's a Deadspin article that has the images of what they were promised, or I guess told this was be the ideal makeup of what you should get, which was based off of the Athletes Unlimited women's basketball event, and now you're inside a hotel room, like a hotel ballroom. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but I think to your point about the court being sufficient and the hoops being sufficient, like people have played in ballrooms and stuff like that for a long time. Indiana, the coach came out and said last year, and they played in Battle for Atlantis, which is one of the biggest tournaments. That is also in a ballroom, but it's just in a ballroom done right, so you wouldn't be able to tell that it's an actual ballroom. It's in the Imperial Arena, which is in the Bahamas. So it's just like you imagine putting yourself in those players' shoes. Would you want to play in that?
Mhm.
So, and you're not going to get, if your goal is to retain these teams or like just the top level teams, you're not going to get any of them back now because you had them playing under just terrible conditions. I mean, it's such like, imagine you having the Indiana men's team over there, who's also a top 10 program. You think they're going to play on that? They wouldn't even ask them to play on that.
They wouldn't let that happen, bro.
Right.
And that's so annoying and just irritating. Like, why do we let this happen again? You know,
It's I guess it's just the way that people view men's versus women's basketball, and not just basketball, but sports in general. And I'm sure we're going to get into that in a few.
Mm.
But
yeah, I mean, we just got to do better and find ways to, you know, bring the women's games along.
mhm.
So, and I think, you know, one university that's doing that right now is DePaul. DePaul University. They're doing, for those you listeners that may not know, DePaul University is adding a $1 women's athletic advancement fee to all of the men's basketball tickets that are purchased. Not that does not include season tickets, suites, and they have like another special type of ticket, and student tickets. Those are exempt from this fee, but general population like us, if we were to go out for a game today or tomorrow and buy a ticket, there would be an additional dollar charged, and that $1 would go to advancing the women athletics at DePaul University, the women's basketball, the women's soccer, women's lacrosse, in some capacity. They haven't, you know, specified what they're putting the money to, but we know it's going to their women's athletics, and I think that's a great step in the right direction. And they also did this in lieu of the 50 years of Title IX. So I think this was a great start in recognition, and I think when other universities see how powerful this is, they will adopt it as well.
I think that's a really good idea for like supplementing some of that like the money that needs to be for maintaining those teams, because I took a tour at the University of Wyoming, and going into all of those locker rooms, doesn't matter if it's the wrestling team, the volleyball team, like the football team, they're all super nice. Like they're like beautiful, like brand new, everything's themed. It's awesome in there. So like if they're going to have all of the same stuff and be expected to perform at the same level, then they obviously need the revenue to do that. And I think if they aren't able to produce as much through their own sales, then this is a really good way to utilize the more popular programs to help supplement some of that income.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, it shows that they care and that they're putting some thought into the advancement of women's sports and women in sports. But I guess one of my questions is when we don't know where the money is going, but I would just want to know how the money is going to be allocated. Will it be to the better? Like, is it going to be DePaul women's basketball, who might be better than DePaul women's rowing or field hockey or whatever the sport may be? How are they going to allocate those funds? Or is it just going to go to the athletic department and then we don't see any advancement whatsoever in the women's sports?
That's a really good question.
So that's my only thing, and they don't say it in the article that we all read, but I can't take away from the fact that they're trying.
I think in a couple of years, if we have somebody kind of call them out on it and be like, hey, where did this money go after you guys have done this? Because if we see other universities doing that, and then it comes out that they are just refunneling that money back into the athletics department, like as a whole, then that was just them doing a $1 ticket charge. You know, it's just a bump up, you know, it's the surcharge.
But I'm like, so also DePaul men's basketball is like not really relevant. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to diminish anything that they're doing, but imagine if we had other universities hopping on this, like North Carolina, Chapel Hill, or Duke, or those bigger schools who people go to basketball.
I maybe I missed it. Is it just the basketball or is it all athletics?
So it's just the men's basketball because they don't have a football team. DePaul's men's basketball is like the highlight.
Oh yeah, DePaul doesn't. That's right. Yeah, DePaul doesn't have a football team.
That's why they're doing the basketball, because like that's where they get the attendance. Like the difference between like the men's and the women's games is the men, they play in the same stadium, and this stadium holds 10,000 people. The men's games use both
$10,000
potentially, if it's sold roughly. But if it's sold out, you have both levels. Most of the women's games do not sell out to go to the top level. So like they don't have the same, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, imagine that power. Imagine how much money that would be. I think that's if I was a school, if I'm a part of the like a department that has the decision power of a bigger school, like imagine that at a Texas A&M football game, or Ohio State versus Michigan. You're basically funding all of your minor programs in a game. You know, like that would be ridiculous. I think that's an awesome idea where you could almost like facilitate having like. If it doesn't even matter if your team's competitive, you guys can just have a team, because when we play Michigan or when we play these big teams or these big schools, we're gonna make all of your funding.
Yep.
And it's not even coming out of funding for the rest of the teams. Like that's just like a free new pool of money.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Well, so they don't even need to have a $1 fee on every ticket at those bigger schools. They can just do it from the jump. They can do it right now, tomorrow, if they wanted to. But the thing is that there's so many loopholes and hoops you have to jump through in order to get things done at that level. There's so many people that you have to please that I don't see the other schools really tagging along and doing this.
Yeah, I agree.
Not at that level. Maybe like schools that are on DePaul's level.
Yeah, like the big Power 5 D1s, like the UNCs and Duke. I don't think so. But for the sake of time, you know, not trying to diminish anything, but we do need to keep things moving. Let's talk about these men's hoops. Some disappointing losses, some upsets, the new rankings, new top 5.
Yeah. So a lot of good basketball on this past week, Feast Week, and this week, all of our listeners should tune into the ACC versus Big Ten challenge. It's good games on all week, but I'm a Tar Heel fan, so we took 2 L's and we played in the Phil Knight Invitational, which is hosted out in Portland. We had a tough game versus Portland. First game we should have lost, but we didn't. And we lost to Iowa State, and then we proceeded to lose to Alabama. 2 good teams, but we weren't the number 1 team anyways, not in my opinion. Like we were because of our run last year, but I don't think that we're not the most talented team in the country. But the new top 5 is Houston, Texas, Virginia, Arizona, and Purdue in that order. The rest, 6 through 10, is Baylor, Creighton, UConn, Kansas, and Indiana. So, I'm seeing all of these teams play, and I think that's pretty fair. I think a team to watch would be Purdue. They've been pretty good this year. Virginia is also really good. So, all of our locals, if you're out there, you should catch a game. It's gonna be interesting, man. I think a lot of these rankings are just gonna keep shaking up every week. So every week we'll have somebody new in the top 5, top 10, because there's so many good teams.
Yeah, I agree. I've enjoyed, slowly starting to get into the hoops this year. Like I've said before, with football and hockey, like basketball is kind of on my back burner, but I've caught a game here and there, or caught half the game. I caught the second half of the Carolina Alabama game, quadruple overtime. Like
Crazy.
They played a whole third half.
Yeah, it's great.
So
it's tough. It's tough.
Third half.
Yeah. But it's tough. It's a beauty and a struggle also to keep up with sports at this time of the year. There's so much going on. ESPN is flooded with games. All of them are good. So college football is getting like super spicy. NBA, NHL. So I don't know. I mean, whenever I can try and catch a game, I try to. But there's so many things, bro. But
yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's a lot. I will say though, one thing we're not gonna forget about: USA beat our Iran today in the World Cup 1-0.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
USA, USA,
They say-
USA, USA.
Oh, what again?
Huh? Oh,
What's
how
it
do I
called?
pronounce it? Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
don't
called
know.
soccer.
Sport.
Oh, the sport.
Yeah.
Soccer, baby.
Sport soccer. Okay. I was
soccer.
curious. All right.
Yeah. We had a draw with
So
England, and then
we going to play the Netherlands. We play Netherlands, right?
I don't know.
I think
No,
that's
it's
what I saw.
Is it Netherlands? I thought
think that's what I read.
I thought it was Sweden or something. Maybe it's the same.
I don't like the
Let me
sound
see.
of that.
Yeah, they play Netherlands
Netherlands.
in a round of 16, baby. So we will see. People writing us off already, but we're resilient. And I'm not really a big soccer guy, but I've been reading some things that are saying that the one thing that they like about this year's team, is that they really compete.
Mm-hmm.
And they, they're playing hard. They're trying to win, and representing the country well. So I can appreciate that.
And we got the youngest roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so that means
it was like 24 in like 312 days. I think it said.
Jeez, boy's young.
Mm-hmm.
They're younger than all 3 of us.
Yeah, it's good experience though. Good experience for them boys.
For sure.
So, well, we're gonna close things out with some football and get to this weddle. So we get 8 guesses.
Okay. Is this the easy or the hard one?
I think this is easy.
Okay. So, this is the easy one.
What position do we want to start with?
I feel like it's easy to start with the quarterback.
Quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who we thinking? Let's go
Dak.
You want to go Dak? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dak. Let's go. No, it is a quarterback. So it's not Dallas. It's in the NFC. He's a quarterback, and he's taller than 6'2". He's older than 29, and his number's higher than 4. Aaron Rodgers?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins? Nope. So he's not in the NFC North. He's taller than 6'3". He's older than 34.
Try Brady.
Older.
It's higher than 12. It's higher than 12.
Tom Brady. Too easy.
Hey.
Too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Too easy. All right. Now we got the hard 10 guesses. Let's go
Okay.
defense.
Okay. Start with Derwin James.
Derwin James?
I like it.
Nothing. Not a single thing.
So that means an offensive
what about
NFC player?
Yeah, offensive NFC player. He's older than 26. His number's higher than 3, and he's under 6'2".
Offensive NFC player. His number is higher than what?
Higher than 3 and older than 26.
Kenny Galladay.
Is he shorter than... No, Kenny Galladay's taller than 6'2", isn't he?
Oh, he's shorter than 6'2"?
Shorter than 6'2".
Oh, okay.
Give me a running
He's probably
back.
a running back
like,
then. He's probably a running back.
Running back. Zeke. That's my first thought was Zeke, but
Let's do Zeke so we can get the running back in there. No. So he's
not a running back?
NFC. It's the yellow I'm running, so it is offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's older than 27. His number is under 21, and he's shorter than 6 feet.
number is under 21.
In the NFC.
He's in.
He's in the
How
NFC,
old is he?
yes. Older than 27.
Older than 27.
What's your boy?
Aaron Jones?
Leonard Fournette.
No.
No, it's a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a wideout.
Or it's not a running back. So it's probably
It's
a
not a
wide
running back.
receiver because it's not a tight end or an offensive lineman at that.
It could be a quarterback,
Marquise Brown.
but no quarterback's under 6 feet.
Marquise Brown.
Kyler is.
But he's not over 27, is he?
No, he's not that old.
I don't know what Marquise is, but we can try him. Marquise
Hollywood Brown.
wide receiver 5'9". What's Chris Godwin?
5'9".
Godwin's like
He's taller
6'2".
than that.
Oh,
Wide receiver 5'9". In the NFC.
he's not in the NFC East, and he's not in the NFC West.
So NFC South or NFC
So
North.
South.
Is it Randall Cobb? Is he? No, he's not 5'9". He's not that short.
I don't know. He actually might be. Damn.
What's the wideout for?
He's 5'10".
What's the wideout for the Bears?
So he's
Mooney?
not in the NFC North. He's not in the NFC North. It's got to be in the NFC South.
So NFC South.
Russell Gage.
Russell Gage is taller than that. It's not Scotty because Scotty is taller than that. I'm trying to think of Carolina. Shi Smith?
I don't know who that is. So he's a wide receiver. He's 5'9". He's between the age of 27 and 32. So he's either 28 to 31. And his number is between 3 and 18.
Jarvis.
Oh, Jesus.
He's 5'10", 5'9".
No,
he's
Jarvis
not
is
that
6 foot.
No,
Should I try it? Should I try it?
No. I mean, we have 10 guesses. Might as well see if we can narrow down the team.
NFC South wide receiver, 29 years old. A 5'9" NFC South wide receiver that's 29 years old. His number.
It's not Scott. It's not Scotty.
Scotty's not.
Scotty's number what? Oh,
12. He's like 10 or 12, isn't he?
He's 11.
I'm trying Scotty. No, it's not Scotty. Don't cheat, Jay.
I had to see how old Scotty Miller was because I swear I thought that boy was old. He is young.
He's 25.
He's just
Dang.
But it's
NFC South. Okay, so it's not New Orleans and it's not Tampa Bay. So it's got to be Atlanta or Carolina.
What's the wide out for Atlanta? Zacchaeus?
Oh, Olamia Zacchaeus.
How tall is he?
I want to say he's kind of tall.
I try.
Try it.
Sure.
Okay, so he plays for Atlanta, but it's not Olamia Zacchaeus.
No, Taylor Gabriel doesn't play for them anymore, does he?
And Russell Gage plays for them.
It's not Corderella's running back.
No.
I don't know Atlanta players.
It's not Drake London.
Definitely not Drake London.
No.
It's not Kyle Pitts.
No.
Oh, what's the other cuz? Bruh. It's the other lights.
I'm trying to think of who always pisses me off when he catches a ball. Because
that's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's the dude that played for the Patriots. Bird. Try Bird.
Bird?
Yeah, something Bird.
If I type in Bird, it doesn't come up, so I need a first name.
It's BYRD. BIRD.
Oh, Demir Bird?
Yeah, try him. Let's go.
Tell you what, I was not gonna get that.
I was not gonna get that at all. My man Corey is him.
I had to do it's the NFC. It's the NFC. Like I said, it's just who's pissing me off.
Yo, that is crazy. I'll tell you what, bro. From a young age, Corey has known hella NFL players, like at all times on all teams. Like
that's so random,
bro.
I guess that's like football. It would be hard for me to do that because they always have helmets on, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like NBA is like I know I can do that with NBA, but NFL, I'm like, bro. If I ain't use you on Madden, I don't know you.
That's how I used to do it.
Just start using a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. Just start playing every team. Just know everybody.
Hey, look, my
franchise
PS5.
mode. Mm-hmm. Man, if Madden can make franchise mode really cool and make that fun, that would be. I would never stop playing Madden. That was all I used to do as a kid.
I know we need to get off, but I just want to say I'm mad at EA Sports for pushing back NCAA football to 2024.
Oh my god! I was about to go buy a PS2 the other day just so I could play the old. I was about to turn up Campus Legend, bro.
Oh yeah.
Why don't they remaster 14, put it on the PlayStation Store right now, and just let us rock? Like
I would play that.
That NFL Street, dude. There's a lot of old game. NFL Street dude. Vic back in the day, you do that like dive bomb, like cyclone, like dive into the end zone. He would do that was nasty.
The little run off the wall.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Edwin James was a problem in that joint too.
Oh, bro. Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, Ricky Williams.
Oh, bro. My favorite part. Derek Brooks be like, "I'm coming. Here I come." When you get the blitz thing.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. What a time. What a time.
What a time
folks,
to be alive.
This is the end of our show. We want to thank you for joining us this evening, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you listen to us. We love you. We hope you love us. And for the love of sports, have a great night.
Stay hydrated.
Make smart decisions.